In a small suburban area north of Philadelphia, located in an old historical high school campus that goes by the name of George School. A part of the campus has an extensive span of history that traces back to the Revolutionary War. During the time, many deaths were announced missing due to an unsolved mystery. This is when the story about the Tate House ghost begins. This story is recorded in the book Ghost in the Valley by I.D. Kent Thomas Jeffrey, which documented the haunted sightings in the Delaware Valley. The story early begins with its warning headline, warning that only the heroes try it. And when the visit is made, carry the largest, stoutest candle that will burn the truest flame, for there will be difficulty. When a certain spot on the basement floor is passed, beneath which a body lies buried, it is said, the candle flame will go out, and the intruder will find himself alone in the damp darkness, with only a thread of shiver to recall that he is still alive. Tate House is by far the oldest building on the campus, and was bought by George School in 1945, when the school purchased its outbuildings. It was built in 1756 by Anthony Tate. Its owner during the Revolutionary War was his son, Dr. James Tate. The latter was a physician who was also an army officer during the war.
So old Dr. Tate went to Trenton quite late on the eve of the new year, and there, after slipping a toddy, he snatched a dead body and dragged it back home by the hair. He dragged it back home by the hair, my friend, while others were raising a beer, while others were singing their old lang synes and welcoming in the year. The story is that he went up to Trenton one night and got this dead Hessian soldier who had been killed in the Battle of Trenton, brought him back to Tate House, anatomized him, cut him open, dissected him, looked at everything, and when he was done with him, he buried him in the basement of Tate House.
For years afterwards, the soldier's restless spirit might be heard in the dead of night, tramping up the stairs and along the halls.
On the third floor, you would hear things sometimes, like it sounded like somebody was walking on the roof, but it's an old house, so it's got all kinds of creaks and bumps and all that. And then there was a closet door that kind of went like into an attic, like a built-in closet in the attic. And you would shut the door, put a pot up against it to keep it closed, and the thing would be open in the morning, like weird stuff like that.
We had a number of experiences with the ghost. My wife woke up in the middle of the night once, and there was an old-fashioned nightshirt right over her, very close to her face, with a row of buttons, and then the nightshirt backed up, and it was the and the body turned, and the body walked away from her, and it was a man with a blonde ponytail. And he walked out of our bedroom.
Can I tell you one of the stories that Emilio told me?
Sure.
It's kind of creepy. So he got up in the middle of the night, he's walking down the hall, and all of a sudden he sees this guy. He's got a beard, like scraggly blonde hair, he's wearing a uniform, like with this like shiny buttons and all that stuff, and he just like went to move and it was gone.
In 2010, the Tate House was renovated under the direction of the George School Board of Trustees. According to Mike Gersey, the director of this renovation, the process includes restoration of windows, new interior walls, fixing electricity, lighting, and the heating system. However, this process was halted at one point due to the unearthing of a horrifying object.
In February of 2010, someone came into my office with a box of bones.
And when we heard that they had found some bones down there under the basement, it seemed to confirm the story.
Being in charge of getting a renovation done by spring, I had visions immediately of the job being held up for years of archaeological digs, so to speak. So I had mixed emotions from the very beginning.
And I don't know why the story began to circulate that they weren't human bones, that they were cow bones.
And as I remember, it took approximately 2 weeks for the results to come back from the crime lab. And to my pleasant surprise at the time, The bones were found to be bovine cow bones.
And of course, that's a very easy story to believe. It's a credible story because this was a farm and there was a dairy farm nearby. But I still think that that story was circulated by official sources. I think this is a mystery that we need to investigate further and not give up until we've gotten to the real truth behind this story.
Were you able to take a picture or the video of the bones?
You know, I believe pictures were taken of the bones. However, we couldn't find them. We were looking, as you prepared me for this meeting today, we just could not find them.